Westchester County has the first community spread in New York State. So our hospital has been one of the major hospital taking care of COVID patients. So I remember very clearly in the middle of March, and all of a sudden, everything just stopped, and all the focus for the hospital is taking care of the COVID patient. And I have to say, at the very beginning, nobody's ready for this. From the beginning, the PPE was a great shortage.
We started to have some questions from team members to have families in other states. One team member asked me one time, I have a friend who's the director of a hospital in Alabama. Could you help me source some masks to Alabama? So I reached out to that gentleman. I said, sorry, this is not something I can put on my plate, but I can reach out to my colleagues and friends in the CGCC network. And I did in the Houston chapter. Immediately, I got 3 responses. They're all strangers to me. Quite frankly, one of them is actually one of our competitors. But they all reached out to me. They helped that gentleman from Alabama and then helped them get masks or donations or buying stuff from China.
We knew we were acquiring PPE equipment for the US early on. But really when it came down to the decision, once the PPE actually arrived, as far as where we wanted to donate it to, most companies you would see often were donating it straight to the hospitals. While we had given some PPE to the hospitals, our CEO was very quick to recognize there were other groups that were first responders that really needed that equipment. We had given it to the NYPD, to the sanitation services, to the postal services. And so really making a broad attempt or effort to really focus on other people in the area that needed that. I think we really tried to keep our contributions, our sponsorships quite broad into very diverse groups.
During March, April, May, there was so many generous people out there. It's really kind of difficult to relate one most memorable thing because a lot of people were, a lot of family, were so generous. But I would say that it's not just one story that would support the frontline workers. I think the more the takeaway was that during a time when global corporate companies were unable to, sell or acquire PPE in a timely manner, it was 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month. We needed it today. It was the local kind of grassroots community in Jersey City, the Jersey City, local Chinese communities, the Chinese churches, Chinese schools, people that I never met before, just through social media, through WeChat, through Weixin, just contacted me all of a sudden and then saying, hey, we got 20 families involved. We donated money, and we got money. We have connections. We're gonna get this many masks in 5 days or 2 days. And the next day, sometimes they would bring stuff. They drop to my house. They would drop it to the medical center. And so, if a family had 10 masks, they would give away 8 to help the local providers. So I think through social media and just the local Jersey City community, this immediate relief really helped this hospital to lessen any shortage.
We do have the Chinese community, and they were able to get the donations, and they were very active getting PPEs directly from China, and they also reaching out to us. They actually providing the lunch for the healthcare workers, and they has been very active. And so that's one. And also even local churches, there are other Chinese churches, they approached us, and I was very impressed. They actually make the face shell themselves. They really handmade, and they're approaching to us. And it was so, I was so touching. They not only provided, and they keep asking after me, and say, Dr. Lee, how do you guys like it? Are we up to par? Are we meeting your needs? Whether the width of the, the shell is big enough, it's long enough, whether it's comfortable, it's too tight or it's too loose. And so they're not only providing this to us, and they want to be perfect, and they want to make sure, we'll really meet the medical standard. So that was very, very touching.
I think that the donations from the CGCC was more than helpful. It was as we treat patients physically, their donations and their acts of benevolence from the Jersey City, businesses and communities treated us medically as well, and physically and spiritually. They're random people, strangers, or organizations giving us masks, give us the energy to go into the room to put on another mask behind a curtain and to see another patient. So while we were treating patients physically, the community treated us mentally and gave us that extra, So I think we're very deeply grateful and indebted to that community and to the CGCC. They worked so well and so efficiently to get us what we needed in a timely manner. And I think I speak on behalf of the Chinese community that we're very deeply grateful and we're indebted to you guys.
The CGCC has been doing so much for the COVID, for the community, and we're really grateful.
When we fight it over all together with everyone, and I think everybody's gonna appreciate it when you look back and how we come out this together. And I think this is also the time when you spend more energy, spend more efforts with your local communities. CSR always has been something we've been doing in China as a corporate responsibility. And when we come over here over the years, we always follow the guidelines, continue to have our efforts in the local communities. And during this stage, we think we reach out to everyone. We think if there's something more we can do, we should do it now. So we need to fight this together. I think that is the message we try to pass it out. And this is the strategy we're adopting. I think in long term, this will keep us going and keep us a success.
This pandemic targets one, not one person, not one level of management. All of us that have to be impacted, bring our families to stay at the planet.
In front of a disaster like COVID-19, realized that we're not that different after all. So working together, getting through together is the end goal for all the people and company in the world.
We just ordered from China several weeks ago our own masks, which have the Bank of China logo on it, and it says "Stronger Together." And I think that is really where it is at the end of the day. We are stronger together in fighting the virus and rebuilding business and economic growth, both in China, both here in the United States and across the world.